firstly, why do you feel that your members are being co-opted into this action?
No, thank you very much for the opportunity. We want to indicate one point that there is no discussion that has happened between SAMWU and any municipality with regard to any salary card, including even Ekurhuleni. And where SAMWU is standing is that in terms of the main collective agreement and the salary and wage agreement that has been signed, there is no discussion that is going to tamper with the increment of workers that is due to them. And also, workers are not ready at this point to participate in any tournament of any sort proposed by any mayor through a back door. We're at a point where now we're saying municipal workers are going to be paid in full their salaries at the end of the month, and that includes those who are at home and those who are at work at this time. And we want to applaud those who are already at work to ensure that services are rendered to our communities, which make sure that the lights are on, which make sure that there is water running, and the ambulances, the nurses, the refuse removal workers, all of them under that umbrella was saying from our side to applaud them for their work, and the challenge that has been put must be given to other people, not to municipal workers. They are paid very low to even consider a discussion about them making a donation. If anyone wants to make a donation as a municipal worker, he or she must do that at their own time. They should not at any stage include that SAMWU is involved in the discussion, because we know the levels of bargaining in our sector that we're going to be discussing properly, where we engage with mayors at a different level, at a higher level, not a local level, but at the same time, we appreciate those who want to donate and they can continue to do so. But it should not be used as an umbrella that says SAMWU is forcing members to go and contribute to the Solidarity Fund. That fund was part of COSATU as SAMWU, and that discussion is happening at network level. COSATU will come to us and will give views of our members to that cause and indicate how it must be handled going forward. But it should not be brought through a back door to us.
Koena, did you have any reason to believe that the salaries of your members would be docked at the end of the month without their permission or even without the union being notified? I mean, ultimately, this is something that is done on principle and I believe from an individual to individual basis.
Salaries of employees in the sector are negotiated at a national level, and anything that happens is discussed at the national level. That is why, at most times, when municipal workers were not paid because of the BPS story or because there was no equitable share sent to municipalities, it was our responsibility at the national level to intervene and speak to the minister, speak to the treasury to say they should release what is due to workers who have worked for that month. Even in this instance, nothing changes about municipal workers. We have no doubt where we're standing now. We have no discussion with anyone about payment of workers to be paid their salaries at the end of the month. And also, the last increment that must come in July, we're squarely on that point to say it must come in to municipal workers because they have rendered service like any other worker.
I imagine that you're going to have a bit of difficulty with that, especially given the kind of situation the country finds itself in economically. Do you think there'll still be money for that increase? We haven't seen an increase for other public servants, so at this point it's increasingly unlikely that you'll get that increase.
I think we must just indicate one point here, that there are two areas we're talking about here. The public sector workers, they fall under the Public Service Bargaining Council. SAMWU and SALGA fall up under the Bargaining Council of the local government. And there's never been any discussion raised with us by SALGA that we're going to be, they will be unable to can pay salaries. And in that context, therefore, when the economy is struggling, surely someone who's at a responsible point should be able to engage the trade unions in the sector and say, this is our difficulty. We can't hear that from the news, from anyone else. It doesn't work that way, because when agreements are concluded between parties in the sector, in the council. At this point, the suffering of the economy to be downgraded, people not being unable to can go and pay for services. It means we must have a discussion about how we must allow community where they are able to can afford to pay, they must go and pay rates and taxes, because that's most important, what mostly contributes to this payment of salaries of municipal workers. And also, the National Disaster Fund, that is at national level with National Treasury, it should be available to assist workers in the municipal sector. The same way they've availed the same fund in the UIF to say comrades who are in the private sector can go and claim from there. Therefore, there's no debate that arises that workers will not get their salaries. That debate does not arise now. We don't have it at this point.
And before I let you go, just one last quick question. In as far as subscriptions are concerned from your members, is there the option of a payment break or payment holiday, given we all know the incredible stress that people find themselves in? I don't know why you're laughing, Koena. It's a serious question.
No, I understand the question you're asking, Comrade Cathy. The point here is that municipal workers and those who work for the trade union like SAMWU, we rely mostly on the contribution that comes from members. And in that context, therefore, we are relying on municipalities being able to can seek revenue from the National Disaster Fund and also Treasury releasing equitable share, so that municipalities can be able to can pay their dues to the union, and at the same time, so that we're able to can pay workers who work for the union. And in this context, what it means is that there need to be a discussion of what becomes an economic and social response to the post-COVID-19 and during by stakeholders in the sector. If that discussion does not happen, it puts everyone on the ledge, it puts everyone at risk. Therefore, all those who we know that are involved in the sector to ensure that we're able to can make it sustainable, we need to come together and ensure that we save the sector during this time and post the COVID-19.
All right.